Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you. It's a slow July, so I thought we could do some current events on today's show.
I'm in. I'm leaving in 2 days for the bachelor party we've been talking about. I was thinking, should we record there? We don't know what's happening, so I don't think we're going to record, but we will have a post recap of our bachelor party that we're.
If we did record the pod there, it'd be the most organized aspect of the bachelor party. Me and Mike are flying to a place. We don't know exactly if our hotel reservation where it is or if that'll work. We don't really know where dinners are. We don't really know what the plan is. But Rich Friend is getting married, and we support Rich Friend no matter where he goes, including the most expensive bachelor party location, which is Miami, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, a little different from mine. I don't know if people know, but I went to Laughlin, Nevada, or is it also Laughlin, Arizona?
We were in Nevada.
We were in Nevada,
it was close to Arizona. We took the boat in Arizona.
I thought we crossed the river to go golf.
Golf was in Arizona?
Golf was in Arizona. Across that's like the state line, the river, I think.
It felt like Arizona. It was really hot.
Or so, I don't even know, but we were deep in the desert on a river, which I thought wasn't that bad. It's not bad there. It's like a rundown Vegas town on a river.
It was super rundown. Lake Havasu seemed fun for some people. Be careful out there. This warning is coming in 1 week after July 4th. Probably missed something that happened really bad out there, but bad things happen on Lake Havasu.
But it is a beautiful, beautiful lake.
Beautiful. Just stay safe. Have a designated driver.
Yes, definitely.
So current events, Mike. The bachelor party, of course, is happening. By the way, the Canadian wanted in on this bachelor party. He didn't get the invite, so I know he's listening here. You can still come if it's up to me and Mike. I just don't know if it's up to anyone else. But the Canadian is welcome to come. But we are playing a Trump golf course. I thought maybe the Canadian isn't allowed to play the Trump golf course. That could have been a conflict there. So we have a lot going on.
I'm definitely not looking forward to golf after your heat stroke 2 weeks ago. I have a feeling it's going to be a little hotter in Miami than it is in old Connecticut.
I went to the driving range to test myself this weekend, and I was sweating so much at 10 in the morning, and I'm worried about the Florida humidity.
So is it new that you're sweating so?
Yeah, I sweat so much now. It's like it was 83. It shouldn't have been that bad. So keep an eye on me, Mike. If I start wobbling, try to catch me before.
Sounds like you're going through menopause or something.
Something's going on. I wanted to ask you about a couple current events in LA. We'll start light and then we'll get a little more heavy.
Okay, yeah.
No more traffic in LA. What's going on? Is there like a lack of people in LA lately? What are people saying about the lack of traffic?
Everybody leaves town for 4th of July. So the roads are clear. My neighbors sure didn't leave. They were setting off like what sounded like mortars in the backyard of my house until midnight from 6 p.m. when the sun is out. I'm like, why are people lighting off fireworks? And fireworks are really expensive. So it's like, why are you lighting these off when you can't see them? But yeah, my neighbors were going for it.
And you have a 1-year-old and a dog, so that couldn't have been a great situation.
1-year-old slept through it all. Me and Aaron did not, and the dog was having the worst time peeing everywhere. It was everywhere. Yeah.
James did great. He slept through it. He must sleep like his dad. That's impressive. We
got a sound machine in there. We just cranked it up and didn't hear a thing.
All right, next current event, Epstein files, Mike. They've been released, and there's nothing to it. Pam Bondi may have been lying to us the whole time. Kash Patel, where are you? Dan Bongino, wow, really? And again, what is your take on the Epstein files? Now, being released, if people missed it today, they've been released, and there's nothing to see here. No one is charged. Only Ghislaine and Epstein are charged, which obviously sounds crazy.
Well, I mean, the first thing is somebody said there was a file, the client list, and now there's no client list. Then there was no video because all the videos got deleted. But all of a sudden, we have a video, which I watched, of the jail cell. I watched it.
But what's up with the video? There's something to it.
It was missing a minute.
It's missing a minute from 11:58 to 11:59. You can't release the video and miss a minute.
I know. So I feel like there's something going on here. Now, we should have ZM on. Zach again. Remember, we were doing a little conspiracy.
I don't know if he could speak on that stuff, but he'd be great at it. He's been leading the way in our thread about it.
Yeah, he's very irritated in the conspiracy thread. I think it's just like at this point, there are deeper things going on that we can't understand, and the deep state runs very deep, and somebody's pulling the strings. And I don't think it's a group of people. I think it's just like 1 or 2 people, because you can't keep stuff that tightly sealed without it getting leaked. Like everybody's out there. I don't know. I did watch a press conference of what's her name, the press secretary, and you almost could tell like she was kind of upset that this was like what she had to talk about, because she must know something, or she's just like, why are we not giving this information that we promised? Like, remember the day after he got elected, it was like, look at these binders, we got everything.
Yes, it was JFK and it was that. And now there's like nothing's come out on either one.
I know. I have no idea. Were you ever actually hopeful that all this was going to get released? Because even the JFK files were kind of like, okay, like no one really learned anything new. Maybe some things got, unblacked out and we learned that maybe this was like CIA-ish. Maybe there was multiple people involved. But those conspiracies were there. Didn't really like nail down like this guy was the shooter. But so I'm like, well, what are we going to get with this? And I don't know. I have no idea.
JFK, we knew he got shot. Obviously, it's on film. Yeah, sure. It's just like, who shot him? That's like a simple question. And I'm not as interested in that as Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell running a criminal enterprise in West Palm Beach, Florida, miles from where I grew up. Mike, they would recruit people from my high school, is what I understand. I followed the story closely after the fact, and the Palm Beach Post did extensive reporting about it. Epstein Island is off the coast somewhere. He had a house in Palm Beach, so he's always in the Palm Beach area. And so it's a local story, and it's very concerning how much real investigation went into this, how much real police work went into this, and still to come out, to your point, with nothing to see here. It just shows that there's a bigger thing at play. Obviously, there's a scenario where maybe Trump is involved. We're not saying that here. If he is, then that's a reason to not put it out there, and that could be what's happening. But a bigger reason, to your point, I think, is there's a group of people or small amount of people, the puppet masters, playing with the world. And maybe it's a simulation theory. Maybe it's a real-life people on this planet, but it's like they're controlling the messaging, and they're higher than the president, who is supposed to be the highest person in the world.
So do you think in like after the presidency, do you think we get something released after that? Like, is there another big release? Because it's like the UFO stuff too. Remember when all the UFO stuff, it's like
New Jersey was a local story for me.
I know, but it's like, do we actually know what's happening? Like, is half the stuff they're putting out here actually fake? And it's like, oh, well, this was real, this was fake. We're trying to control the narrative. But then when they try to control the narrative, it gives more questions, like the video that they released that is missing a minute of time because you see him walking,
way, right?
Yeah. You see him walking to the jail cell and then it skips a minute, which is, I don't know. Like, I guess something could happen in a minute, but we also don't have pictures of what happened. Minute.
Originally, they said there's no video and there's no pictures, and then the video appears. Like, stop lying. That's one of the first ways to avoid being caught, is not to lie in the first place. My last thing on Epstein is a young woman named Virginia. She was interviewed. She came out and pressed charges and said she was a victim of Epstein. She was a victim of Ghislaine. She was a victim of Prince Andrew getting the royals involved in this. She did an interview with Dateline a few years ago with NBC News. Virginia then got very depressed and moved to a farm. I think it was in Australia or another country. She recently died. She showed up dead. Like so many people show up dead. She was less than 50 years old. Shouldn't be dead. Shouldn't be dying. Just another example of the truth being covered up. And it's very concerning. We don't know what happened. We're not making political statements, but it's really concerning.
I will say it is weird. So I watch this guy. He does the Y Files on YouTube. And it's all these big conspiracies. It's anything from Bigfoot, UFOs, to political conspiracies. He was recently on Joe Rogan and he mentioned he's scared to talk about political conspiracies because of the backlash or the deep state coming after a lot of people. And I think that's the scary part, where if you talk about political conspiracies and maybe you get it right or you have a source or something like that, even that one guy, there's another guy that like does conspiracies on politics all the time. I forgot his name, like Sean Ryan, I think. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm going undercover for a few months because I released something. I feel like there is some sort of fear and something that comes up after, and we don't know what. We've never done a political, I mean, this is as political as we get on the show, but it is something that's like, what is really happening? I have no idea. But it is a little scary.
Well, damn, Mike, you put fear in me after saying that. We just did 8 minutes on Epstein, and now you dropped that hammer. Listen, we don't know anything that's going on. We have no inside information. If the deep state wants us to put a different message out there, just hit us up on the Hangover Hotline, and we're happy to share your message with our listeners. It's okay.
But yeah, I don't really know, but it is something that I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like all these people that like say these things or do these things eventually either try to get taken out. Even the guy... not Richard Greer, that's an actor. What's his name? Some UFO guy. I feel like he had a lot of death threats as well, but now he's kind of like out in public talking about all these UFO sightings and Element 152, all this stuff. And I think like you have to like break through enough to where you're such a public figure that you can't just go missing like that unless you end up in jail like Epstein or something.
We've covered a lot in the first 10 minutes. Let's get back to sports. No one come
Sure.
after us. We know nothing. Don't
We know
blame us.
nothing.
Mike, I've got a few stories here that have crossed my desk in the last few weeks. Of course, last week we didn't do a show. The listeners don't know this. We were busy in the lab making content. That'll be revealed later.
Yeah.
But it's been a couple weeks. So I have some current events here. Just want to check in. This is a bullshit or believe. Do you care about this headline? Right?
Love
do you
it.
care?
Kevin
Kevin Durant. Yeah, it's probably all knows. You're right. In July, Kevin Durant changed teams. He was traded to the Rockets in a 7-team trade, the biggest in NBA history. Does Mike care?
I honestly don't. At this point, when you move teams every year, I give up. I don't care anymore. I thought he was going to be, like I felt like he was on that trajectory a little bit of like a LeBron, like he's going to be the greatest when he was on Golden State. He's winning, and then all of a sudden he's just on new teams every year. I don't care anymore. Like if you switch teams, eventually there's no loyalty to who you are, and you're just trying to either get a title or more money. And I don't think fans care about that.
Mike, I believe you're exactly right. I could hardly tell you that he was on the Suns last year. He's not been playoff relevant for a few years. He's mid-30s. He's kind of weird on social media. I think we can all move on from Kevin Durant. He's not going to win much with the Rockets. Another NBA headline, 2 in a row. This is crazy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, fresh off. I believe he won the finals, right? He's fresh off the finals. He signed a new contract, 4 years, $285 million a year. Do you care that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will make $1 million per game for the next 4 years?
I don't care. Don't. I mean, we talked about baseball last week with the salary cap. At least NBA is a salary cap. I think in the NBA, this hurts your team. You're not going to be able to get a ton of talent. So he's getting paid a lot of money in a very small market. We saw the parade videos. It didn't look like many people cared, the NBA, that they won anything out there. So, Oklahoma maybe doesn't really care too much about NBA.
That was my spin on this story is how is a man who lives in Oklahoma City, who plays his home games in Oklahoma City, getting paid $1 million a year to do anything, or $1 million a game to play each game? Each game he shows up. It might not be full. I know they won the championship. I know NBA has new TV deals. It's like, damn, we're giving out that much money to a guy like Shai, who's just like, if he walks down the street, no one would even recognize him except for his height.
I mean, I may recognize him, but
you wouldn't recognize him.
I think I would. I feel like I really recognize a lot of people's faces. Like out, I'm in LA. I feel like there's a lot of random people you just kind of spot off the side of your eye, and you're like, what's his name?
Any good ones lately? Who have you seen?
I was trying to think. I swear somebody, I don't know. We're usually just at like a grocery store. Oh, usually at like Erewhon, you'll see somebody. I see what's Heidi's husband's name? They were on
Heidi Klum?
No, not Heidi Klum. Heidi Montage, I think, or what? I don't know. I see all these random. Usually, Erewhon has like D-list. Oh, I saw a comedian at what's her name? She's like a little Jewish girl. She does comic.
Sarah Silverman?
No, she's like with Bobby and I don't know. I saw her at Erewhon the other day.
Okay, Mike is seeing C-list celebrities.
I can't. I don't know their nails, but I do spot them at go to Erewhon in Silver Lake or any Erewhon. Most expensive food you'll ever shop for.
It's good, but it's very expensive. Do you remember in Vegas a few years ago, we were walking in the MGM Grand and I saw Chris Paul. He walked right by us.
No, this is, I don't even know what time it was because it was just dark in the MGM Grand is like the darkest like lighting ever. And you're just walking around.
You have to walk a mile to get outside even.
I mean, you don't even know what time it is. All right. Yeah, no.
You're going to Vegas soon. All right. Do you care? The Dolphins and Steelers made a trade. Basically, Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey. Does Mike care?
Do you care as a Dolphins fan? Does this matter at all to you?
It's really just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's going down either way, I'm afraid. Doesn't matter if Minkah's back there or Jalen. It's a bad secondary and it's a bad team.
What about those rumors that are coming out about like how they treat you out there? Didn't Mostert like post something about how like treating a Pro Bowler like this and blah, blah,
Yeah, there's
blah.
been a few things lately. Jalen Ramsey apparently wanted to leave because the Dolphins accept mediocrity, which is like, yeah, that's my whole life. They've accepted mediocrity. They're the Steelers, basically. They go 8-8 every year. Never the worst, never the best. And then there's this other idea that who else said something about the Dolphins today? I think Asante Samuel Sr., who was a cornerback in the league for a long time, he said the Dolphins are like a minor league franchise with no decision makers, no spine, and his son is a free agent who might be negotiating with the Dolphins right now. So have some real inside information there. And then Mostert said something about if you're successful with the Dolphins, they ship you out, I think is what he said. So the culture, Mike McDaniel, not looking good, man.
Not looking good. Real quick about the draft, I was just thinking, The NFL draft compared to the NBA draft, I feel like there's actually people in the NFL in the draft board that actually make a difference. Like they come on your team and they immediately make a difference on your team. Why doesn't that happen for the NBA? When I see the NBA draft, they're trading draft picks for like the next 10 years to get players that are currently in the NBA, and they just don't value the first round pick. And I'm like, well, what's the point of the draft if no one cares who these people come in and play? Like you're not obviously they're not ready to play in the NBA.
They're rarely ready. Cooper Flagg will be one of like 5 or 6 starters maybe in the whole draft that start in their rookie year. But the NBA has 5 players on the court at one time. NFL has 22 starters on both sides of the ball. And so you have a better chance to make an impact in football, I think. And like, oh, there's a hole on a team because there's so many players and so many holes. In the NBA, if you have 5 good players, you might not have many holes. So guys don't come in and make an impact.
But it just seems like the draft isn't worth anything to some teams. Like they're just like, who cares? Like we don't need this draft.
They trade away a lot of picks sometimes. It's like there was one of the trades, I forget who it was, got like 5 first-round picks, right? And the guy might not have even been that good.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah.
Another headline for you, the NFL owners have been colluding. This one's kind of juicy, being underreported. ESPN refuses to cover the story because they're in bed with the league. The owners, there's texts that have been revealed in a lawsuit. The owners text each other about quarterback contracts to suppress the value. Apparently the Cardinals owner and the Chargers owner were texting about Justin Herbert or Kyler Murray's contract, I think it was. And the Chargers owner said, thank you for keeping that low. I got to sign Herbert next year, so I'm going to keep him low because you kept Kyler Murray low. This is all real life that is being underreported out there. So, do you care?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think that's a big story. But do we think Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray are on equal playing fields? I know Chargers fans will say otherwise, but what do you think?
It's hard because on one hand, once you have one of those guys, they're in a better situation than my team and other teams. But they're also not the top of the league. It's not Allen or Burrow or Lamar or Mahomes. So you're kind of still like in that middle section. You're not like the best. So I don't know.
But would you swap, like, if you swap the two, would the team change at all? Obviously, just like maybe the way they play the game, because obviously Kyler Murray runs a little more, but it does seem like they're kind of interchangeable. So I could see how they're like
interchangeable in like a mediocre way. Like they're really good compared to everyone in the world, but they're not really good compared to the best quarterbacks in the world.
Yeah. That's fair. So equal contracts. Did Kyler Murray just sign a new contract?
It was a couple years ago. I think the texts were from two years ago or so.
So it's just
he didn't sign one recently. It's people like Trevor Lawrence and Tua signing the bad contracts lately.
Well, how much did Tua make? He made a lot of money, right?
A lot. It's like $45 million a year or so. How many games will he play? 3 or 4? We'll see.
Yeah.
I got one more story for you, kind of related here. An MLB player was suspended for gambling, and an NBA player is under investigation for gambling.
Saw that. Yeah.
Do you care?
I saw the NBA one. Listen, the way the video is shown, they're like, there's less than like 2 seconds left or something. He gets that rebound from the free throw. That man has never sprinted faster in his life to get that layup. And
it was a blowout. The game did not depend on it.
He is hustling so fast. I would say, yes, I care, because there's always going to be people that are going to do that. And I can, how like DraftKings and FanDuel, it's almost like they have an algorithm. Like if there's a lot of action on some weird thing that should not have a lot of action, like even the MLB player throwing those fucking balls in the dirt.
Yeah.
Is that something that we need to focus on? Probably, but how do you stop it? If it's almost like, if that guy, I don't know the pitcher, so I don't know if that's what he does.
Let me tell that story. So Luis Ortiz, according to sources, was triggered on June 15th when he made a pitch against the Mariners in the bottom of the second inning. The bet was going to be, is it a ball or a strike, basically? And Ortiz opened the inning with a slider very well outside the strike zone. It was like not even close. There was a lot of money on it. Then a second pitch against the Cardinals 2 weeks later, top of the third inning, a ball or hit batsman would win the bet. He opened the inning with a slider so far outside the strike zone the catcher couldn't catch the ball. And those are both flagged.
Yeah, so that's like, I don't know. I guess if there's action on it, either people have researched this player enough to know we should put some money on this because he's always going to do that. But like the NBA player, that was like the most obvious thing ever. Right? Like,
so that's the thing. One of the big things is hide it better. If you're going to do this, like we can't always track where the money's bet, like whose uncles, friends, nephews, whoever, like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon made the bet. At least hide it. Don't run down the court in a blowout and dunk with 0 seconds left. Don't throw the pitch outside the strike zone. Maybe get a few wrong. Throw a strike when you bet on ball and like mess with the algorithms a little. Like maybe we're too good at fooling people and fooling systems, but I feel like there's so many ways to get through this and they're just not even doing it.
Well, I mean, it's weird because like I think California just banned fantasy sport games where you can bet on fantasy sports. I think they're trying to pass a law now where instead of deducting, if you lose 10,000 and you win 10,000, or if you've had whatever it is, you can deduct 100% of it because you lost 10,000. But now I think they're trying to push it to 90% instead of 100%, so you can't deduct the full amount. And I think the other law that I think went in effect in Chicago is they're adding like a 50%, not 50% tax, like a 50-cent tax or some sort of tax on top of your winnings or payout. So if you get paid out, you're like losing a percentage or a percent or two or some weird, it's a very small percentage, but it adds up if you're winning, if this is your livelihood and you're winning, like I listen to Fez and he wins millions of dollars every year, maybe close to $1 million. He needs to be able to have that margin because that's the margin that helps him win. So I feel like a lot of these lawmakers putting in laws in effect on gambling are trying to do right, but they don't fully understand the game. So it's like hurting it a little bit. So I don't know where gambling's going, but also I saw your boy Bob Costas. He was talking about gambling and he's just talking
Probably not into it. He's a dinosaur.
He's not into it. He's not into it.
He's not into it.
But I do think there is something scary where it's like you give access to, listen, if I had FanDuel at 16 years old in high school, you better believe I would be a degen, like gambling nonstop.
That's happening. That is happening
Yeah.
across many boards. And I get the idea, right? To your point, is like people are losing their life savings. They're wrecking their families, money, college tuitions, all these things. But it's hard for politicians to get involved in that and say, this is how you should and should not spend your money. And so it is a dangerous slope, like you're saying, in a lot of these places where they're taking the free will ability away from people. And when you take free will away, it just is going to make people more upset and more apt to go find their offshore betting services or wherever they have to go.
But it's so easy. It's like too easy to bet. Now that I have Kalishi or whatever on my phone,
it's a prediction market, not a betting market.
Prediction market. I get so many alerts. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably bet on this today. Like
you're doing legal betting. Well, until Gavin Newsom bans those URLs in California, enjoy it while you can. I got one more story. I lied. I like this game. Does Mike care that the WNBA players voted Caitlin Clark the 9th best guard in the WNBA?
Talking about that, I actually have a hangover hotline that I could play.
No way.
Yeah, it just reminded me. It's about the WNBA.
We should play it.
Let me play it. I don't know who it's from. Let me cue up this voicemail. What?
Do we have to vet this?
Wait. Hold on.
Here we go.
I got to start it over.
Hangover hotline. Anyone can do this.
From Schenectady, New York. My question is, do you think that the WNBA players are a little underpaid? I've been looking at some recent statistics out there, and it seems like the WNBA draws more on average viewership than the NHL. Obviously, the NHL players are paid way more than these women. What are your thoughts on this topic?
So that's a great question. Thanks for calling in. Where's it? Schenectady? Where is that?
Somewhere in New York. Some probably made up town in New York.
Come down to Connecticut. I'm right here. Thanks for the call. First, great cheap shot at Mike in NHL, right?
Yeah. Really,
really getting better
good.
ratings in NHL. That's probably factual. I thought he was going to say better ratings in the NBA, which isn't true. Maybe getting close. Caitlin Clark games rate so well, and I think it goes to the point of, I'll answer his question very specifically. For all players who voted Caitlin Clark the best or second best guard in the WNBA, they should get a raise that is proportionate to their ratings. If you voted Caitlin Clark lower out of disdain, out of jealousy, out of all the attention she's getting, you should not get a raise and maybe get a decrease in pay, because that arena audience, the TV ratings when Caitlin Clark isn't playing against you, is a lot lower than when she is.
I agree. I think it's something weird with the players. I don't think they've ever had this much spotlight on them before, so they're almost like, fuck her. It's not just her. It's all of us. We are that good. It's like Angel Reese trying to be like, I'm why they're watching the WNBA. It's like, no, you're not. It's literally
not. The Angel Reese games without Caitlin Clark don't rate well, and the attendance isn't good for those games. I want to share a tweet from Dick Vitale, one of the living legends on this earth, college basketball expert. He was fired up about this, Mike, so I'm going to let him tell you why.
Is he coming on the show?
He chimed in here. Absolutely pure jealousy that WNBA players voted Caitlin Clark the 9th best guard. Someday they will realize what she has done for all of the players in the WNBA. Chartered planes, increase in salary, sold out crowds, improved TV ratings so you can make more money off the court. This is from Dickie V, who is another dinosaur who you wouldn't think necessarily understands it. He gets it better than the whole WNBA does. It is crazy that they don't respect her like a god. Mike, we love the podcast. If someone came over and said, I'm going to take take your podcast to another level and you can watch me do it and it's going to help your podcast, why would I be jealous of that? I'd be like, hell yeah, make me better. You do better. Everyone's listening to podcasts. Raise the boat, raise everything. Why would they be against her?
I think you just said it. It's just jealousy. I think people are just like, we want this, and she's not why they're watching. I don't know. I have no idea what it is, but yeah. And back to the salary thing, I think it's also like a percentage wise. I think they get the same percentage as NBA players payout from the salary cap or something, right? I think that's what I looked up a long time ago. I think I put out some sort of breakdown of it before.
Maybe you should write a blog. You've been writing blogs lately. Maybe a WNBA blog would do numbers.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll put one out breaking down the salaries. I swear I had one. I might go back and check. I swear I wrote one on that.
Republish it. No one will. Yeah. It's July. They said it couldn't be done, Mike. We just did almost 30 minutes of Maxwell and Epstein and then transitioning to sports.
Oh, wait. Real quick before we go. Have you heard the rumors LeBron might get traded or leave LA? Have you seen that at all?
Well, he opted in to his deal, I thought, right? So he's got one more deal with one more year.
Well, I thought it was like he opted in, but now he could be traded because now he's on the team, so it's like an asset that they can move around.
But they have to move Bronny with them.
I don't know if they need to move Bronny with them.
Don't they have to? He did all that bullshit to get him on the team.
I don't know why I keep seeing this. It's just like everywhere I see, it's like, oh, he's going back to Cleveland. He's going back to Miami. He's going to go to Golden State. All these rumors.
He's going. I think he's got Luka, and I know they didn't play right. I think they give it a shot at least until Christmas. If it's still bad till Christmas, maybe you can trade him for like a stretch run before he takes like 2 months off before the playoffs. But I think you give it another run with Luka. They got a big man, DeAndre Ayton. They didn't have that last year. So I think you got to run it back with JJ Redick, even though I don't like him as a coach.
We know from the stats that if you're a first-time head coach and you don't make it to the finals, you will never make it to the finals.
Fade the Lakers.
So. Yeah, fade him this year. All right, good show. Check out our Substack. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go subscribe. Watch us there. All the clips, the full show is up on YouTube. Also on Substack, just search Sports Hangover. You will find us. Good show. See ya.